Hello, friends, and welcome back to English Classes Online, where English learning is made easy. Kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Like and share our videos and turn on the notification for more videos. English Classes Online is where English learning is made easy. English Classes Online is also where literature in English is made easy. English Classes Online is where we teach you how you can use the English language as a powerful tool for content creation. So we teach you how you can use the English language to create valuable content and create multiple streams of income on various online platforms. So you are most welcome to our channel. Rest assured that our classes are always informative, educative, and exciting. Let's dive into today's lesson right away. In today's lesson, we are going to look at the 4 future tenses and their uses. I am Benjamin from English Classes Online. Let's get started right away. What is tense? Tense is the form of the verb that indicates the time of an action or state of being. Mastering the correct use of tenses is of central importance to the correct use of English sentences in speaking and in writing. What are the 4 future tenses? Now, at a glance, we have simple future tense, future continuous tense, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Let's look at examples of each of them. An example of the simple future or future simple tense is will wait. Then future continuous will be waiting, future perfect will have waited, and future perfect continuous will have been waiting. Let's begin with the simple future tense and the uses of the simple future tense. Now, the simple future tense expresses what will happen after the present time, after the present. There are a number of ways of expressing future time. The most important of them are as follows. You combine will or shall with main verb. For example, the US president will visit Nigeria tomorrow. You can also combine am, is, or are with going to plus main verb. For example, the US president is going to visit Nigeria tomorrow. So let's look at will and shall as those helping verbs that we can use in talking about the future. Will and shall are often contracted in speech, especially after pronouns, to form will. That is the positive form of will, and won't, the negative form of will. Of course, the negative form of shall is shan't. Will and shall function as modal auxiliaries and also as auxiliaries of the future. The modal and future functions of will and shall are often confused as most people find it difficult to distinguish between them. The following are some of the future uses of will and shall. All right, we use will and shall to express the simple future tense. We are going to look at their uses and examples. Prediction, and this is to make a prediction about the future or to simply say what we think will happen. For example, Henry will get the job. Who do you think will win the presidential election? I think Jonathan will win, or I think Obi will win, or I think Tinubu will win, or I think Atiku will win. Just to predict. In football, you can say, for example, Barcelona will beat Real Madrid tonight. Another use of the simple future tense is in making prophetic utterances. For example, you shall receive power after the Holy Ghost is come upon you. This prophetic utterance was made by the Lord himself in Acts of the Apostles chapter 1 verse 8. Another example is, for there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. Again, this statement is attributed to our Lord Jesus Christ himself in the Gospel of Matthew and other Gospels. Now, another example is, the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Or, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death. So those are ways of using the simple future tense, specifically in prophetic utterances. Still on the uses and examples of the simple future, we have spontaneous decision. And this is when there is no plan before we speak. Then we can use the simple future tense to express a spontaneous decision. In other words, we make the decision spontaneously at the time of speaking. For example, well, we will see what we can do to help you. Someone is asking for help, and within that moment, without any previous consideration, you can spontaneously say, well, we will see what we can do to help you. Or maybe I will take the car to the mechanic. Or wait a minute, I'll get you an umbrella. I don't think I will buy that car. These are spontaneous decisions. Then another use of the simple future tense is in talking about general truths, scientific facts, or what can be talked about as universal truths or ideas. For example, if it's made of wood, it will float. A cube of sugar will dissolve in water. Engines won't run without lubricants. Then we can use the simple future tense in conditional sentences. Will and shall, will or shall is used in the main clause of conditional sentences. For example, if you accept the job, you will never regret. If you press that button, the lights will go off. If you pull that lever, the roof will slide. If you don't handle that curtain with care, the glasses inside it will break. Okay? Still on the uses and examples of future simple tense, or simple future tense, we have fulfillment of present intention, what you intend to do in future. For example, what are you going to do this holiday? I am going to stay in a quiet place and write novels. Another example is, next week we are going to have a holiday. We are going to have a holiday. Or next month, Chima and Onyinye are going to get married. Then we can also use the simple future tense in future combination of present cause. We want to talk of what is going to happen in future as a result of what is noticeable now. Okay. For example, there is going to be a heavy rain tonight. Why? We can see that the sky is cloudy already. So you can say, did you notice that the sky is cloudy already? So there's going to be a heavy rain tonight. You see? Another example, Judith is going to have a baby. Why can one say that? She's already pregnant. That's the present cause. If someone is already pregnant, then you expect that the person is going to have a baby sometime in the future. Messi is going to score a goal. What is the evidence? He has already dribbled past the defenders. Okay, so it's a future, a future result of a present cause, if you like. That brings us to the second use, the second future tense, and that is future continuous. We are going to look at uses and examples. The future continuous tense is used to show that we will be in the middle of doing something in a specified time in the future. It is used as follows. The first is future actions, in talking about future actions. For example, at 9 a.m. tomorrow, I will be teaching a class. Next week, the family will be traveling to the village. I will be making a speech at the college end of year party tomorrow. You know, you can use the future continuous tense to talk about future actions. That is certain. Then the second one is interrupted action in the future. We can use future continuous tense to talk about interrupted actions in future. For example, I'll be preaching the gospel when the Lord comes to take the saints home. You know, something that is going to happen in future, and then there will be interruption at a point. I'll be preaching the gospel, then that activity will be interrupted by the coming of the Lord. Another example, I'll be waiting at the airport when dad's plane arrives tonight. People will be eating and drinking, buying and selling, and so on when the trumpet sounds. Then we can also use the future continuous tense to talk about future parallel actions or parallel actions in the future. Tonight, the bride and the bridegroom will be dancing, hugging each other, and having a good time. All these are happening, simultaneously, if you like, or parallel as parallel actions. Some will be relaxing inside the air-conditioned rooms, while others will be walking in the sun, or while others walk in the sun. Julian will be washing the clothes while Jane will be cooking the food, or while Jane cooks the food, if you like. Now, that brings us to the future perfect tense, which is that form of a verb that expresses an action completed before a particular point in the future. Then we can form it with any of the following grammatical structures. We can use will or shall plus have plus past participle. For example, will have completed the project. You can also use am, is, or are with going to plus have plus past participle. E.g., is going to have completed the job. Then we have the future perfect tense and its uses. That's what we are going to see, the uses and examples. The first use is action completed before something in the future. It is used to show that something will happen before another action or before a given time in the future. For example, the train will have left before you get to the station, or the meeting will have started before Mr. Williams arrives. By next year, I will have completed my house. By the time Adamu gets home, his wife is going to have cleared the entire house. By 7 p.m. tonight, Uncle Ben will have arrived. Then B, we have duration before something else in the future. By January, for example, I will have worked in this organization for 5 years. Mr. Jones will have been in Nigeria for 10 years by the time he leaves. By Friday, Emeka is going to have had my laptop for 2 weeks. Now take note of the fact that the future perfect tense, like all other future forms, cannot be used in clauses that express time. That is, clauses that begin with after, before, when, while, as soon as, by the time, etc. Let's look at some examples. It is wrong, for example, to say, I am going to cook supper when I will have finished my work. It is correct to say, I am going to cook supper when I have finished my work. This brings us to future perfect continuous, their uses and examples. The future perfect tense is that form of a verb which is used to show that something will continue up until a particular event or time in the future. And we can form it with any of the following grammatical structures. You can use will and or have, uh, will plus have been plus present participle. For example, will have been waiting. You can also use am, is, or are plus going to have been plus present participle. Example, is going to have been waiting. The future perfect tense can be used to express the following: the future perfect continuous place, a duration before something else in the future. For example, Susan will have been waiting for more than 3 hours before Anti-Informer's plane finally arrives. Mr. Balogun will have been teaching at the university for more than 5 years by the time he leaves for America. She is going to have been working in the hospital for 4 years when it finally closes. Still on the future perfect continuous uses and examples, we have cause of something in the future as another use of the future continuous tense. We can talk about something that we can see as evidence or as something that is going to cause something in future. Okay, for example, Ude will be hungry when he returns home in the evening. Why? Because he will have been fasting for over 10 hours. You see? Obi will be tired when he gets to Kano. Why? Because he will have been driving for more than 12 hours. Ujunwa's English will be perfect when she returns to Nigeria because she is going to have been studying English in the United States for over 3 years. Now take note of the following. 1. The future perfect continuous tense, like all other future forms, cannot be used in clauses that begin with time expressions such as before, after, when, as soon as, by the time, if, unless, and so on and so forth. Let's take some examples. It is wrong, for example, to say you won't be made a director until you will have been working here for more than 5 years. The correct thing is to say you won't be made a director until you have been working here for more than 5 years. Another thing to take note of is that, like other continuous tenses, the future perfect continuous cannot be used with non-continuous verbs. For example, be, what, want, seem, like, need, and so on and so forth. It cannot also be used with mixed verbs like feel, appear, have, look, hear, see, weigh, etc. Now, it is unadvisable to use the future perfect tense with such verbs. Let's look at some examples. It is wrong, for example, to say Mr. Okafor will have been in London for 4 years by the time he returns to Nigeria. You know, being, B-E-I-N-G, is the continuous form of be. We can't use it in this way. The correct thing to say is that Mr. Okafor will have been in London for 4 years by the time he returns to Nigeria. Another example, it is wrong to say Olu will have been having his driver's license for over 2 years. It is correct to say Olu will have had his driver's license for over 2 years. And this brings us to the end of the class. I hope you enjoyed the class. If you did, like the video and share the video with your friends and relations who might also want to benefit from a video like this that will help them to gain proficiency in the use of the English language. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you